introducing one of the women who have been going with Mr. Gillum throughout this entire campaign. She will always be in the room and always be by his side through everything that he does throughout this journey to become our next governor. I have the privilege of introducing a strong woman, and I'm proud to introduce her because we know how important it is to have a woman in the room in this day and age, and for a woman to be a part of the conversation. So I would just like to bring out Miss R.J. Gillum.
So I love being here because you all have the best energy, right? South Florida has such good energy. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for your support of Team Gillum because we are going to bring it home. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Andrew. He and I met 20 years ago. I know we look very young, but we were young students, excited about life, like many of you all, on the campus of Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida. Go Rattlers! I see some of our classmates that are here. And what I want you all to know about Andrew is that he has consistently been the person you see today. He's just gotten better over time. When we were students at Florida A&M, Andrew cared so deeply about representing our student interests. We met in student government. We actually had a couple of arguments in student government. We weren't always agreeing with each other. But looking back now, I am so proud of the man he has become. He has consistently been a leader, the kind of leader that speaks out and says what's right even when no one else will do it. When we were scared to say that we objected to the policies of then Governor Jeb Bush, Andrew led our group and said, we demand action on behalf of the students of Florida A&M University, and we won't be scared. So I'm bringing that up to you because I don't know if you all have noticed, but we're living in some challenging times right now, right? And it's not just for the young people. It's not just for our seasoned Floridians. We are all living in some challenging times. And the time is right for us to have a leader that is going to represent all of us, right? Not just the friends, not just the wealthy, not just the well-connected. Someone who will, in Tallahassee, represent each and every one of you, your classmates, your family members, your teachers, your doctors, your parents, someone who will represent all of us. And let me let you know, I've known him a long time. You can count on Andrew Gillum for that. Now, I will say that I think Andrew's pretty proud to be married to me because I know you all haven't gotten to know me as well as Andrew, but I'm kind of a big deal myself. So he has a little something he slipped up and said, and I'm not going to ever let him forget. He's like, I don't even remember saying that. So we were at this women's rally, right? And he goes, you know they say the man is the head. Well, the woman is the neck that turns the head. And I said, that's right, that's me. No, really, we are partners in every sense of the word. I am blessed to have him as my partner in this life. When he asked me to marry him, he said, will you be my life partner? And I will never forget that because now more than ever, those words are ringing true. In addition to being married to me, the thing he is most proud of is being a father to our children. We have twins that are 4, Jackson and Caroline, and we have a 17-month-old, Davis. And there is nothing that brings me greater joy than to watch my husband with our children, because I see his heart when he is talking to our children and when he is teaching our children. And what I know more than anything is no matter what happens in these next 4 years, I know that the people that he will fight for the most are our young people, our students, our children, our babies, those that can't speak out for themselves. And when he does that, this world will be a better place. Not just Florida, this world will be a better place. So I need you all to help me because we have got to work as hard as we can over these next 8 days. We have a lot of our friends, you all get it, right? Because you're here, you get it. So now it's time for us to all be extensions of Andrew, right? You have got to not let anyone in your phone go uncalled or untexted. You must make sure your students, just walk, every student you walk by, did you go vote yet? Walk them to your polling place. This race is going to be very close, and we cannot afford to miss not one vote. We need you all to help us have people understand the importance of the governor. There's so many people that are focused on the president and focused on Congress. We have some actions right here in Florida that can be changed when Andrew Gillum becomes governor. So are you all willing to help me? I need your help. The next voice you're going to hear is one that I am so proud to bring to the stage. It's the voice of your next governor, Andrew Gillum.
What's up, everybody? Are y'all ready to win? No. Are y'all really ready to win? All right, I'm increasingly believing y'all. Have a seat. I promise not to take too long. But I tell you, I am exceedingly proud to be here at the Miami-Dade College North campus. I want to thank, obviously, President Padron. I don't know if you're here, Mr. President. I know you got to maintain some lines between your jobs, but will y'all give it up for the President in his absence? And I'm not sure if the President of this campus is here, but I want to acknowledge Dr. Malou Harrison. Right here, right in front of me. And I don't know, Dr. Harrison, if your faculty and your administration and any of the members of your staff are here, but if they are, will y'all give those folks, those hardworking individuals, a round of applause as well. And then obviously, I want to shout out the students, all of the students of this amazing campus for everything that you do, for following, quite frankly, my grandmother's advice, which was to go to school, mind your teachers, get your lesson, and bring that education home. I know that your family is as proud of you as my family was of me as we worked every single day to transform not only our household, but for my children and my children's children to make their future trajectory just that much brighter. I know we've got tons of elected officials who have already been acknowledged, but again, we got some of the best public servants on planet Earth down here in this area. And so if you wouldn't mind giving all of those elected officials who are here, who have spoken, a round of applause. So I'm exceedingly excited today. Y'all, we 8 days away. We are 8 days away from what I believe is about to be one of the most transformational experiences that we've ever seen in this state. I believe that. I believe that we sit right now at the precipice of the biggest change that we've seen in a generation right here in the state of Florida. Now, my name may be on the ballot, but the truth is that what is underneath my name are all the issues we care about. My name, if you will, is just the topical. What sits beneath my name is a belief that we ought to pay teachers what they're worth for doing the most difficult job that exists on earth. What sits beneath my name is a belief that we got to elect a governor who actually believes in science. Who believes that we've got to take the necessary steps to clean up our environment. That a governor who believes that we have an opportunity to, right here in the Sunshine State, be the global producer of solar energy. To have no competitor. to have no competitor in close competition with us, because we're going to lean into the challenges of the next generation. You will have a candidate for governor, and you have a candidate for governor, who is going to work to transform this economy in such a way that people can work one job instead of 2 and 3 jobs as a way of making. You're going to have a governor who believes that our students who attend our colleges and our universities ought to be able to do so without graduating under a mountain of debt. They ought to have, and when they graduate, that they're not on the first flight out of here, right? Because they don't believe that they can fulfill their dreams here in the state of Florida, that they don't believe they can start their businesses, that they don't believe that they can't have the quality of life that they deserve if they stay in the state of Florida. That's not going to be our issue. We're going to build the kind of environment, the kind of economy in this state where any corporation, any business, if you choose the state of Florida to locate, we're going to be able to produce the very important talent that you need to fill those jobs. We know that we don't have a jobs gap in this country or in this state. The gap that we have is a skills gap. And the way we're going to fill that skills gap is we're going to transform the public education system in this state in a number of ways. First, we're going to pay teachers what they're worth. Second, we're going to make sure that our kids get access to high quality early learning. High quality early learning. Because right now in the state of Florida, 40% of our kids are showing up at kindergarten not ready to learn. Nearly that same percentage by the time they get to 3rd grade are not on grade level reading. And because of our obsession with high-stakes testing in this state, tests that don't tell us what our kids know, but how well they take a test, we have forgotten about some of the kind of training that used to exist in this state. While college worked for me, and I wanted to work for anybody who feels like that is the route that they want to go. We want to make that available and possible for them. But for our other kids who may not want to go to college, who may not be cut out for it, I want to make sure that in their public education that they get access to the kinds of apprenticeships and skills training, woodwork, mechanical, electrical, technical, all of those kinds of skills that they can monetize, go to work, get a job, and earn a good wage. Right now, we're telling literally half our kids that are not on their way, on that trajectory, that their lives aren't worth it. Right? We're telling them that their future is going to result in a lifetime of low income and low wage work. Well, y'all, that isn't the message I want to send to the people of the state of Florida. I want to send a message to our young people that regardless of where they come from, what their mother or their father did for a profession, what side of the track they grew up on, what language they speak, what religion they may or may not have, that we're going to build a state that makes room for all of them. Not just the well-heeled and the well-connected, but all of us. I believe that with every fiber of my being. I believe that with every fiber of my being, because my story wouldn't be possible were it not for the teachers who, in my opinion, do the most difficult work that exists in society. I mean that. These are individuals who are responsible outside of our parents and in some cases in substitution of our parents. With cultivating, with inspiring, with investing in and pouring into the minds of our most precious gifts, our children. And the fact that teachers in this state are paid an average wage that is the 45th lowest of all 50 states is a shame. In fact, if my grandmother were here, she would say it's a crying shame. Because some shames are worth crying about. The fact that the public education system in this state is ranked 40th out of 50th is a crying shame. Well, y'all, we have an opportunity on November 6th to change all of that. We have an opportunity to pass a new vision for the future of the state of Florida. And not just in education, but we got a chance to do that in our economy. We got a chance to do that in our environment. We got a chance to do that when it comes to health. Because when I win this race for governor, the first priority is going to be expanding Medicaid for over 800,000 of the most medically needy people in our state. And y'all, I got to level with you. It isn't just about that 800,000 for me. Well, that's important because any governor ought to work overtime to ensure that people get access to life-saving health care. Right? They get a relationship with a doctor. But for those of us who have health insurance, It is as important, it ought to be as important to you as it is to those who are uninsured, that we get those folks equipped and connected with insurance. Why? Because when you watch your premiums increasing year over year over year, because 1 in 5 Floridians are getting access to healthcare in emergency rooms, which is accessing healthcare at its least efficient and most expensive form. Those systems have to get their due. And largely the way that they get their resources is by insurance companies, again, raising premiums. And so when we talk about expanding access to healthcare, not only does it benefit that 800,000, not only does it benefit the budget of the state of Florida, because we will pull down $6 billion from the federal government that right now is being given to other states. That money will now come into the state of Florida so that we can resource our system. And in so doing, we expand access, lower costs, and then put our future economy on a trajectory that looks like that. All the way up. We hire nurses, nurse practitioners, home care workers. The healthcare industry grows, and then it grows in a way that it can be sustained. The right way and not the wrong way. Y'all, when we win this race for governor, you're also going to have a governor who believes in real criminal justice reform.
All right.
Real criminal justice reform. Which is why I am an endorser of Amendment 4. We got to make sure that when individuals have paid their debts to society, they've done the crime, they've done the time, when they finish that, they ought to be able to re-enter society and have their right to vote. And equal to that, they ought to have their right to work, to get a job with dignity, that allows them to be an example to their children and to their families, to say, you know what, there's another way to do this thing. Let me example it for you, because not one of us in this room, not one of us, wants to be judged for a lifetime by our worst day. That's what grace is about. Right? You can't say you want people to be able to pull themselves up by the bootstrap and then erect every barrier imaginable to keep them from being able to do just that. That doesn't work. And quite frankly, it makes our communities less safe. If folks can't get access to jobs where they can make a good living, an honest living, it's like water, it will find the crevices. We got to plug those holes. We got to plug those holes, make people productive and useful, contributing members, take care of their family, return them to their kids. Let them join us in interrupting this cycle of intergenerational poverty, intergenerational crime. We can do that, y'all, when we win this race. Y'all, when we win this race, you're going to have a governor who will appoint the next 3 Supreme Court justices to the state Supreme Court. 3. Y'all hear that? 3. And it doesn't just stop with Supreme Court justices. We're talking about appointments up and down the state of Florida. You're talking about change that goes beyond 4 years. We're talking about 40 years. Right? And I will tell you, we will make it a priority to appoint individuals, yes, that are qualified, but also individuals who reflect the rich diversity of this state. It matters to me. Y'all, we have so many amazing opportunities. Congresswoman Frederica Wilson reminded me that it's been so long since we've had power in this state, we don't really know what we're dealing with here. We don't really know the depth of the impact that electing a governor can have. Right? From the agency level on down, from the appointment level on down, from the leadership level. Right? The fact that I've got an opponent running around here playing footsie with some of the folks who are at the center of dividing this nation and this state. Right? These relationships are so close to some of the derisive and the divisive politics that we've seen played out on the national stage. Well, on November 6th, we have an opportunity to retire Mr. DeSantis once and for all, number one.